Hello guys, welcome back, and for this time we're going to be explaining why Happy Days I made as my top one on my own demon list, my completed demon list. Now there are many reasons why I really do not like this level, but let's first go on to the obvious point that I have, which is the attempt count, because for this one I had to use 1715 attempts to beat, but if we were to find Future Funk here, if you can see, Future Funk I beat in 1038 attempts. 5 attempts here in the Future Funk though, so 1038, that's 1043, and then 1043 plus 309 is around 1352. That's one reason why I really struggled more with this level. And I think this level is much more difficult. Now let's go to the gameplay itself. Let's go through the gameplay through practice mode. And I would like to show you guys why this is definitely difficult. Alright? Now, mainly the difficulties of this level, why it is top 1 on the medium demon list, is because of how inconsistent some of the parts are. Some of the parts have very bad transitions, some of the parts have just very bad gameplay. For the ship, the beginning cube actually earlier was really easy. It was just some very simple inputs. But then when you come to the ship, it becomes difficult. This is one of the parts where I really struggled to pass. If we are to look here, let's try and slow down the speed. So as you can see, this ship right here, at first, you will actually think that it's pretty tight, but honestly, it's not really that tight. You know, it's actually pretty open space. But the problem that I do have here, first of all, the decorations, they're pretty over the place, as you can see. That's why I cannot really see much in the way. But later on, when you do like memorize the way for that part, you will get really used to it. You will get really used to it. So that's not really the main problem. But it's a bit of a skill issue though. I really do suck with the ship, which is why I really do think that part is like the first difficulty spike of the level. But it's not really as difficult as the later parts in the level because it's just the what they call that. It's kind of like the first taste of what the level could be. Actually, this input right here, after this, after the upside down portal, is a bit of a difficult input because I died there a lot of times. I really did. A lot of the times when I died on the ship, I died right here. That input to me was a bit difficult to do, but you can easily pull it off just after some practices. So other than that, this ship doesn't really have much problems, except this part of this. But after you go through that portal right there, you have a little bit of a space here on the bottom, and sometimes you can bonk your head. If we were to go back there, let's try to put a checkpoint this time. You can bonk your head from up there. Alright, sometimes if you're not, yeah, like that, you can bonk your head like that. So many times that happened to me. Or sometimes, maybe this could even happen to you. Yeah, you get my point, right? You get my point. Like that, right? That can also happen. Sometimes you may accidentally go up too high or go up too early, you know, go up too late. It's a bit more of a precise input than you think it is. Maybe it's just skill issue, but I don't really know. Now let's go on to the next part of the level. Let us talk about the first wave part of the level. This wave part actually is a very easy part compared to the ship part because this just has a click pattern that you have to follow. So the click pattern is like this. Just kind of like that. You can do your own click pattern. This is the click pattern that I got myself. There you go. Now for this part, alright, there are also some other things that increase the difficulty. Like for example, this moving chain right here, this moving thing right here. Sometimes, whenever you go too low, whenever you go do the click pattern that I did, and then you go too low, you kind of like tend to like hit that kind of like that. And sometimes that did happen to me. And also, you might think that the space is tight because once again, everything's the same color and then there's like a lot of decorations packed into each other. That's why you may think the space is tight, but no, it is actually pretty wide. So a lot of the times I just acted scared, but in the end, it's actually not really that hard. Now, next part that I do have a problem with, a bit of a problem, is this ending part with the portal once again. You see what my problem is? It's really the portal transitions right here. Because here with the portal, I just kind of get confused where I'm at, and then whenever I go up there, I kind of over spam it a bit and then hit that wall right at the top, kind of like this. But sometimes I spam so much I hit that. That's what happens. Yeah, kind of like that. You will be able to learn a click pattern that works best for you because as you can see, how this part of the level is built is that when you go up there, you just kind of go down like a hill. So you just gotta try to make your wave go down like a hill. So make your wave slanted. Kind of like that, right? And then there's another part that I have a problem with. The next part that I have a problem with is the transition. So the transition in this is really annoying, really annoyingly bad, in fact. Now, when we go through this part, sometimes we can go a bit high, sometimes we can go in the middle, sometimes we can go lower. Or you know what? What if we go high? Let's try going high. See? So for that, it does kind of mess you up because you do not hit the pink pad. Because for the normal way, the normal way is the way in the middle. As you can see, you hit the pink pad and you're not really messed up, alright? You're bounced into the platform. No problem with that. There's also no problem with the top path, it's just that it'll kind of mess you up. Now, what if you, for some reason, it just accidentally, it's not your fault, at least you still pass through, it's just that you went through the bottom. This is what will happen. I need to take a dump. See that? As you can see, that can happen. That kind of bug can happen. Where sometimes it flunks you higher, which makes you automatically get killed by the spikes. See? I literally did not have a chance to react, and it literally just blatantly killed me. And I'm sorry. This apparently not going on the bottom, but apparently you just have to go through the middle. Okay, well that was my bad. That's definitely my bad. But you see, right? You see the problem with the transitions, right? Bro did not let me have a chance to react, and it literally just killed me because of how bad the transition is. That is one of the parts of the levels which I really hate. But now let's go on to the next part. The next part is just a ship part. Oh my goodness. Now this ship part, um, that ship part is actually one of the easiest parts of the level. At first you will get some difficulties with that, but honestly it becomes very, very consistent. So I don't think there's really any problem with that part. Next is this upside down wave part. Now, at first, when I went through this, I had a really difficult time because I really suck at upside down wave. But this is also one of the easiest parts of the game. Though there were some times where I got frustrated with it, but it's not really that difficult because it is just wave spam. So you really just have to spam that button of yours or that mouse of yours as quick as possible. Oh, by the way, also as consistent as possible. I forgot that word. And other than that, it's not really that difficult. I could definitely do this right now without speed hack, except if I were to just not leave the dang level. See with that, alright? It's a really easy part. There may be some parts where you will be thrown off, like the portal part. But once again, you just really have to spam and then try to time your clicks as consistent and as perfect as possible. At first thought, you think it will be tight, but it's not really that tight. But now let's go on to the UFO part. This is the first UFO part of the level. And in my opinion, this is a pretty easy part. Alright? It's just consistency and it's just click patterns. You don't really have to think much about it. The click patterns like this that I found. 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and here. Go on to the robot part. So, very easy. You just have to memorize the click pattern that works best for you. That's the click pattern that worked the best for me. Now let's go on to the robot part, which is once again another pretty easy part. The UFO part kind of will only be a bit harder because it does pop up in around the 30% where I feel a lot of pressure. I just kept on dying in the first ship part to the point that the parts after that, I will start to feel a lot of pressure. I really start to shake. I start to sweat. It's a bit of an issue on my side too. But still, I mean, it does still heighten the difficulty, so I still do kind of have an excuse to put this at the top of my demon list. There's mostly because of how I never died at 99% in Future Funk and just went through it in a breeze. So this, a robot part, it's very easy inputs, not much complexity. And then for this part here, at first you will really think that this is a very difficult part because it literally just suddenly put a spike right in front of the portal. But actually, what you just have to do is once you hit the blue portal, literally press the button immediately, and then no problem will happen. Kind of like this, right? Immediately press the button, no problem really happen. And then just here, after that very easy cube part, we'll now go on to another UFO, which is really consistent. This UFO is really consistent because it's just another click pattern part. So let's go through the click pattern again. 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Like that, right? Very simple. Now let's go on to the two hardest parts of the level. Absolutely the most despicable parts of the level. The first hardest part of the level was the ship earlier. Alright, I consider that the hardest part because there are some inputs which leave you crying. The other parts of the level which become really inconsistent are definitely the transitions. That's why this level is really difficult. Second, hardest part of the level is this ball part. This ball part sometimes my mind gets blacked out because of course it's very far from the start or the 60% part. So of course I would definitely feel a lot of pressure in my heart. But there's some inputs here which are definitely a bit difficult to pull off. I mean already with the start over here with the blue orb, this is a bit difficult to pull off because it is in the middle of three other orbs, which makes it, which means you have to time it. Same with that, with this here. You can't really hit it late, and you can't really hit it early. If you hit it early, you hit the blue orb. But if you hit it late, this is what happens. That's what happens. You hit that small spike right there. So you really have to hit it at the perfect time. Like that. You see, I am in speed hack right now, which is why this looks really easy. Let's go, yeah, kind of like this. This really this quick. And as you can see, that's another timing right there with the blue orb. And then with this kind of speed, it becomes really difficult. Really difficult. So with practice, it did become very consistent to me, but once again, it's still very difficult. It's still very difficult because of the timings included. So sometimes I did mess up in that part and became much more frustrated with myself. So now let's go on to the hardest part of the level, in my opinion. Definitely the hardest part. It's the second wave part. In my opinion, this is the hardest part of the level but there's some kind of gimmick in this level, or in this part of the level, where it will make you become, or a mini wave, and then immediately transition you into a big wave. Just look at this. Look at how hideous this is. Okay. See that? This part right here. As of right now, you'll think of, okay, that's not really much of a problem. It's because we're literally on speed hack right now. If we were to put out speed hack, this will be much more difficult. It will be evident. See? Those parts really throw you off because it really throws you off because it suddenly becomes a mini wave and it's so annoying to me. Okay, well, for some reason, I am pulling it off right now, but earlier, I was having so much time trying to beat this part because the mini wave just absolutely decimated me. It's so annoying how from a normal wave, it became a mini wave and it throwed off my rhythm. Sometimes there are also, like as you can see, right? Whenever you're the normal wave, it doesn't really go down that quickly. But then when you're the mini wave, it goes down so quickly, like that. It goes so sharp. And whenever just one press, it kind of goes up so quickly, it suddenly hits the dang spike. That's why that's also the part that really annoys me with that, just that part, okay? That gimmick. There's also this one, I don't know whether I can call it bug, but there's one thing about this part where you stay as the mini wave. It does not bring you back to a normal wave, it just makes you stay as the mini wave. That's so annoying. I've gone through so far in the level, I'm at around 74%, 75%, and this level just made me stay as a mini wave and did not bring me back to the normal wave. That bug is so annoying. Fortunately, I just wasn't able to record it. But let's see if I'm... See? Record it. But let's see if I'm... See? See? You see that? You see what happened? I stayed as the mini wave. I did not change. That bug annoyed me so much. There is so much problems with this level to the point that I hated this level in the end until I finally beat it just earlier. So everyone who wants to try beating this level, I prefer you not. So as just for you to not get tortured. I did this just for my ego. I thought this is the number one medium demon on the medium demon list. Why not try it out? Maybe I could probably do it. Well, I tortured myself for 1,717 attempts or so. So this level definitely was a problem to me. But other than this part, other than that, no many other problems because the main problems are just that annoying. There may not be that much problems, but the problems that exist in this part are so big, really so big that you don't really need any other problem to make it problematic. Okay, I did it all for you in the exact way that it looks. All right. Now this final cube part, it's a very easy part. Very, very easy. But this part right here, I'm gonna show you why it might throw you off. And once again, it's because of sudden transition, blind. Okay? As you can see, it suddenly transitioned us to that jump. And whenever, you know, for example, you feel like a lot of pressure in you because you're in the end of the level, it will really throw you off because it suddenly hits you with the, oh my goodness, you need to jump now because you're about to die. And that's a bit of a problem that I encountered, but I didn't really die at this part at all. Maybe at practice, to me, it was a bit of a problem. But in the actual gameplay or in the actual level, I never died at this part because I knew what I was supposed to do. So if you actually know what you're supposed to do at that part, it will be no problem. The only thing is that it's a blind jump, but as long as you've mastered this ending part, you're all fine. Because after that final wave part, everything's going to be a breeze. No more problems, including the next UFO, because this next UFO is actually very easy. It's just another click pattern part. This final UFO, very easy. There's more click patterns. Let's try and do this. Just kind of go with the background music. Dun 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 dun. Kind of like that, right? And a very easy ending ship part. It's not really very difficult. You don't have to straight fly as much. And there you go. Level's over. So that's all that I do have to say. I hate this level. I'm never going to back to it ever again. And if you guys actually want to do this level, disclaimer guys, it's going to be a very annoying ride. And I wish you luck if you actually were to try this level. So thank you guys for watching. Finally, I have a new number one, top one demon on my list. The next demon that I'm about to try, I'm not really sure because I really felt a lot of stress in this level. Maybe I might have to tone it down a little bit. Maybe just try some more easy medium demons until I go and beat some other hard demon. And then later on in this month or maybe later on in the next month, I will go through Spatial Rift. So thank you guys for watching this video. This is Lveliss right here talking about my experience with Happy Days. Very bad experience. Thank you guys for watching and see you tomorrow everyone. Bye bye y'all.